する。
How's it going, everybody? It's Eong here, and welcome to Day 17 of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. Before you proceed, I highly recommend you check out Day 18, in which I talked about all the information that was shared of the highly anticipated title throughout October and November 2014 via Square Enix's Active Time Reports live streams. In this video, I'll be talking about all the new information and footage that yielded from Jump Festa 2015. There is a lot to talk about, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. With November finally over, the next we would hear of the game was on December 15th, 2014. On this date, Square Enix released the same TGS 2014 trailer, but this time with English dubs, making this the first time ever that the general public got to hear of the game's English voice actors. Check it out.
Hey! Step on the gas and don't look back!
One step ahead of you.
Whoa! That thing is huge! And it's looking right at us!
This can't be for real.
Talks between His Royal Highness King Regent and Emperor Edelus Aldergap of Nibelheim are set to conclude at
Who's up? Rise and shine, Your Highness.
Crown City broadcast won't reach us, Bill.
So much for that.
We've come a long way from home. At least the prince isn't losing any sleep over it.
Is that thing on fire?
That thing is an astral shard.
I am starving.
Sitting in that car for hours.
I could do with a bath.
About time we found a place to hole up.
Step to it, Hunter!
Turns out Luna's an Altisha.
She made it out alive.
Well, you don't want to keep her waiting too long.
Anything else? It says she's holding on to something for me.
Going for it! Uh-huh! Sweet!
Careful, Highness!
Sit this one out, champ.
Got me!
Time to say goodbye!
Once through the mountains, clear to the coast.
Been a long time. Too long. Not much longer.
I know this is a matter of personal preference, but so far, I'm not too crazy about the English dub. There's just something unnatural and awkward about their dialogue and conversations, and I'm not sure if it has something to do with the script, the performances, or a little bit of both. But then again, it is still too early to tell, and the English voices might end up growing on me once I play the full game, so I'll hold off on a final judgment. Now, I did notice that the lip syncing was a little off in this trailer, but for anyone who's concerned, the final version of the game will not only allow you to choose between Japanese and English audio, lip syncing will also match the chosen language. Alright, so moving on, 4 days after Square Enix released the English dubbed trailer on December 19th, 2014, Japanese Gaming Expo Jump Festa 2015 began, and Square Enix kicked things off by unveiling a brand new trailer of the highly anticipated title, both in Japanese and in English. Check out the English version.
Now for the news on the recent Imperial military action in Insomnia. We bring you the latest reports from the Crown City. Nibelheim's forces succeeded in transporting the Lucian crystal out of the Citadel today. The Empire hereby declares control of the crystal. Meanwhile, within the city, life is returning to normal as the Empire continues to provide aid to local citizens.
Peace Accord fell apart.
At the signing ceremony, no less.
Snakes planned that way all along.
You think everyone will be okay?
Okay, being blasted into oblivion?
Who can say? We mustn't rush to conclusions.
Better explanation for that.
So we stay on the road?
Like we have a choice.
My name's Sim, head mechanic.
Take cover, here!
Awesome trailer all around. Again, lip syncing was a little bit off, but that's something that will be fixed in the final game. Perhaps the most significant development of this new footage was that we got to meet Cindy and Titan for the first time, both in their own way a sight to behold. Now, shortly following the reveal of the trailer, Hajime Tabata hosted a panel that was live streamed via Active Time Report, through which he answered some questions regarding the new trailer and provided new information about the game. Website Siliconera did a great job of summarizing all the information into English through an article they released on December 20th, 2014. So I'll be using that to relay the new information. So here are all the bullet points that they listed. The giant monster shown at the end of the trailer is indeed Titan. Summoned beasts can be acquired after fighting them, and there are various other conditions for acquiring them as well. Titan will play a big role in the story, but the demo won't include him. It will instead add another summoned beast that is not a big part of the story. You'll get to summon this beast, and it is said that it will be a dynamic one that will surprise players. The giant size of Titan seen in the trailer is how he'll look when you summon him yourself. The town in the trailer is shown in a seamless fashion. However, at the current stage, Square Enix can't say for sure whether the entire game will be seamless. Again, they say that they're doing their best to make it all seamless, but important scenes will likely require some loading. The demo, however, will be completely seamless. The town shown is called Lestarg, and it plays an important role in the story surrounding Titan. While big, it is not one of the largest towns in the game, and won't be in the demo. There's a hotel where you'll get to rest, eat, and shop, along with all kinds of other events. General Corleones will join you and fight in the party. There are some party members that will join as temporary guests, and Cor is one of them. He's not a friend of Noctis and the others, but an aide to his father. He'll be there to look out for Noctis and company. If you go a while without sleeping, the stat boosts you get from foods and such will lose their effect. The sleep element has been added to further emphasize that these characters are living people, so they'll need to get rest just like any normal human. You can eat meals at camp for extra status effects. You'll need to take a breather in order to level up, so basically, if you don't rest at a camping area, you won't level up. This will make it possible for people to challenge themselves at beating the game at a low level. You can go 3 days without sleeping, but any longer than that and you'll begin to see negative effects. 1 day in Final Fantasy XV is the equivalent of a real-time hour, so a day lasts for about 40 to 45 minutes and the rest is night. This bit is currently in development, so it's subject to change. There will be moments where you'll need to go on fighting for days at a time. There are also trains to travel inside, and these will have their own spaces within them. You'll travel by train at times and can freely walk around inside when you do. Cindy, or Sydney in Japanese, doesn't have much to do with the story, but she's a mechanic who will talk to you about gameplay. While we still don't know exactly what kind of mechanic she is, she will appear in the demo. Square Enix's male staff members have been putting a lot of effort into creating her. Oh, I bet. At the moment, Square Enix are working on adding more action varieties, and they feel that magic isn't looking too impressive, so they're not showing it. They need to work on it, but they'll do that after they're done with the summoned beasts. At first, they decided on only having Noctis use magic, but they felt that it wouldn't be as fun gameplay-wise, so they're changing it up a bit so that everyone in the party can use magic. Square are adding various languages for the demo version that will release around the world, but due to the heavy amount of content and problems in schedule, Square Enix can't say for sure whether they'll all be included in the initial release. Insomnia is the capital of the Kingdom of Lucis, where Noctis is the prince of. This is where a ceremonial signing will take place. Square Enix prepared all kinds of scenes for the latest trailer, but since they didn't use them all, map director Yasuyuki Matsunami got pretty upset. Tabata justified his reason by saying that trailers can be made in two ways, to advertise or show the state of development. They showed Behemoth and Weathers in the previous trailer, and Tabata says this was put together in a rush. As for Jump Festa 2015, the focus was advertising, which was done by the editing studio, and not in cooperation with the development staff. For this reason, they weren't able to include all the scenes that were requested by staff. Some of the omitted scenes were shown separately at the event, including one that highlighted Cindy, and another with town exploration. Before we move on, let me show you the scenes in question.
これさっき言いましたけど、ひときわ関わってる人間がハイテンションで作っている。でこれをやるっていうのを聞いたので、ちょっとねネタバレになるボイスだけはカットさせていただきました。すいません。であとさっき整備士って言いましたけど、これ見ると丸分かりですね。そうですね。これはノクトたちこのメンバーが彼女と初めて会ったシーンの、イベントです。ここが多分トレーラーで使ったと思いますね。はい、
自己紹介したところになりますね。
はい、こんな感じで、これを宣伝に渡し使われたのがあれだけという。
先ほどレスタルムですね。
そうです。でこうドライブをしてきて実際に街の近くに車を止めて
そうですね。この辺がちょっとトレーラーだとカットされてたところになるんですけど。
なるほどね、ずっとつながってるのが多分分かりますよ、見ると。
もう本当車でドライブしてそのまま止めて歩き出せると。
はい。という具合に街には入っていくんですが、ここから先ちょっと切り替えてます。
何これ？俺見てないんですけど、なんすかこれ？
ちょっとね変えさせてもらいました。さすがにいろんな NPC が配置されていて、でいろんな要素が見えちゃうので、ちょっとねそこは変えさせていただき、特別に大藤さんが街を見せたいって言ってオーダーしてたので、犬になってちょっと昔のバージョンの街、作りかけの街を歩くという、そういうものに。
ドッグカムって書いてます。
はい、犬のカメラですね。製品版にこういうのがあるわけじゃないんですけど。
これいつ作ったんですか？
これはその街をチェックするときに作ったやつですね。はい。
非常に犬のモーションのクオリティ高いですよ。
そうなんですよ。まだ実験作ですけど。
ああ、そうですか。
はい。時々こうやってまだまだ仕上げてないところも普通にあるんですけど、でもでキャラクターも全然配置されてないんですけど、なんとなく街の雰囲気は分かってもらえるかな
と。本当に広いんですよね。
広いですね。でもここ一番広い街ではないんですよね。ここは市場ですね。ここで食材を買ったりして、そのまま今度は旅に出て、でキャンプをして、そこで料理をしてご飯食べて、いい効果がついて、でもずっとキャンプを張らないでいると効果が消えるという、そんな感じでこうサイクルが回っている。
なるほど。
はい。
ゴミっすか？
そう、ゴミですね。
お早送り
長かったんで。
いやー広いな本当にちょっと
でこれ
いらない
ちなみに奥の方に犬の挙動はいいとして奥の方に行くと実はすごく重要な場所がすぐあるんです。
本当に今俺は犬の行為だけを見てましたよ。
そうですね。犬に注目いきましたね。
でもこういう裏路地とか本当雰囲気ありますよね。
はいはい、そうですね。
はい。
でもここが
すごい
もうちょっと絵的にもブラッシュアップされてイベントや実際に買い物ができる機能が追加されて、おそらく皆さんが見るときには
Alright, so with that out of the way, let's finish up the bullet points. There was a much older version of the town, but the latest version had a lot more going on that was shown in the trailer when you see Noctis and friends cruising in there. The full release version will look nicer and will have more people walking around. If you go near them, you'll also get to hear them speaking. You can purchase ingredients to cook at camp. By eating those foods, you'll gain positive effects. By properly sleeping, you'll maintain its effects. The part that shows the dog peeing in the footage with town exploration, in the back, they show a part that will play a big role in the game's story. Tabata jokingly said that he'll introduce more on the dog if the demand is high enough. With that out of the way, let's move on to the next information blowout, which came from a preview of Final Fantasy XV by Famitsu Weekly following the game's appearance at Jump Festa. The information was later translated and relayed via bullet points by website Gematsu through an article that they released on December 22nd, 2014. Here is what the bullet points say. Lumina Studio. The current version of the engine is version 1.40. When the Episode to Sky demo launches, it will be 1.50. The final version of the game is planned to be 2.0. There are about 5 million polygons per frame, with each character made up of, at max, 100,000 polygons. The inner hair alone was about 20,000 polygons, which is 5 times the previous generation. Character models have around 600 bones, which is roughly 10 to 12 times greater than what was seen last generation. Data capacity for textures is also much greater than before. Final Fantasy XV. Battles against huge enemies are carried out in the same fashion as standard battles, but there will be more exclusive party co-op actions for the bigger fights. There will be several mini-games, including fishing. Restalm, we called it Restaru, then Restark, we were wrong twice, it's hard to play by ear sometimes, is being made in the image of the Bahamas. Right now, the ropeway in Restalm cannot be rowed. We might add the ability to ride it if there is time to do so. The development team wants players to get a feel for the world and find it relatable, not just through sheer visuals, but also through the characters. In town, you can stay in hotels or go shopping. NPCs in town are controlled by AI, and you can talk to them. Restalm is a main town in the first half of the game. Cindy shows up in different places throughout the game. Something happens with her at the start that shakes her up and gets her moving around. While she's not deeply involved in the story, she's relevant because of her profession as a mechanic. Players will also have to fight summon beasts in order to be able to use them. Summon beasts in the game are a symbol of the power of stars. Only Noctis can actually summon them. Combat-wise, the plan is holding down a button will start a set combo, but timed button presses are what will enable coordinated moves with other party members. To parry enemy attacks, you have to match the timing of their strike. This is intended for expert players. Magic isn't what consumes MP, nor is the system akin to the draw system Final Fantasy VIII had. MP is consumed by using special actions, such as dodging and warping. Weapons are equipped several at a time, with one main weapon. The main weapon has a corresponding ability, and it's also possible to switch the main weapon during combat. Combos are automatically formulated based on which weapon is currently being utilized out of the ones being equipped. Abilities aren't separate from a weapon's given category, and there are also weapons that have no abilities at all. Apparently not unlike what was seen in Captain Tsubasa 5, a game that Tabata apparently worked on back in the day. Rare weapons that can be acquired from dungeons and other sketchy areas could potentially have some hack-and-slash aspects to how they're used. The Phantom Sword, which floats in mid-air, will also be acquirable as a special weapon. The battle system from the demo is planned to be fully featured. After the Tokyo Game Show this year, the systems going into the demo were slightly changed as a result of fan feedback. Players will also be able to run around in areas such as the mountainous areas where the behemoths roam. In the full version, you'll be able to rent chocobos. Camps are inherently designed to be a safe haven, making them ideal headquarters when setting out to explore new areas. There are bonuses that come with cooking ingredients purchased in towns and cities. You can also get ingredients off monsters in the wild. So that about concludes all of the new footage and information that came from Jump Festa 2015. But the year was far from over. The final event of the year that Final Fantasy XV appeared on was Malaysia's Comic Fiesta 2014, through which we got even more new footage and information. But that's a topic I'll be reserving for tomorrow's video, so with that, I would like to end today's episode of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the game's English voices, as well as the new footage that was shown during the Japanese Game Expo. And to be further updated on all things Final Fantasy, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!